Hey everyone! Today we're going to unlock one of the most vital and frankly coolest secrets of the iPhone 13 logic board in this explainer. We're demystifying the incredibly critical PP VDD BOOST power line. So if you've ever wondered what literally keeps the heart of an iPhone beating, well, you're in exactly the right place.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our flight plan for mapping out this complex logic board landscape today. We're going to start with the drone's eye view, then check out the birth of VDD BOOST, see how it's powering the network, explore the core phone applications, and finally, look at the LDO ripple effect.
All right, Section 1, the drone's eye view.
Let's be real for a second. Staring at micro soldering points in dense schematic diagrams, it can be totally overwhelming. It's kind of just a sea of confusing dots and lines, right? But I absolutely love this brilliant analogy from our source material. Using schematic diagrams isn't just about hunting for a single pin. It's actually like sending a drone high up over a sprawling city. Suddenly, you aren't just standing on the street staring at a brick wall. You can map out the entire logic board by sectors. You see the whole road, the intersections, and the obstacles ahead.
To make that drone flight nice and smooth, our source offers a really fantastic practical pro tip, and that is setting up a dual monitor workstation. Step 1. Use one monitor exclusively for your one-click visual diagrams. And Step 2, dedicate your second monitor entirely to the component descriptions and schematics. This simple setup drastically speeds up your diagnostic workflow, keeping you from getting totally lost in that schematic landscape because, well, you aren't constantly tabbing back and forth.
Moving right along to Section 2, the birth of VDD BOOST.
Now that we've got our map, let's track the actual journey of the power. Where does this vital energy even start? Well, power literally flows downhill. It begins at Step 1 with VBAT, straight from the battery. That then flows right into Step 2, becoming VDD_main. And from there, VDD_main feeds into a very specific integrated circuit, the U4300, which basically acts as a generator that finally gives birth to our star player, VDD BOOST. It's this beautiful, precise chain reaction. Now, what's really interesting about this is the voltage itself. VDD BOOST isn't just some static number. Under optimal conditions, with a fully charged battery, it sits at about 4.3 volts. But, and this is wild, it tracks perfectly with your battery level. If your phone battery drops down to 1%, that VDD BOOST voltage drops right down with it to around 3.2 volts. They are completely dynamically linked together. Okay, Section 3, powering the network. Let's shift our drone's camera over to the baseband side of the logic board. This is the sector responsible for keeping your phone connected. And to understand how power is managed here, our source uses a super vivid soccer analogy. If your phone is close to a cell tower, the envelope tracker intelligently sends a soft power output to the power amplifiers. It's basically like gently passing a soccer ball to a friend standing right next to you. But if you're driving out in the country, miles from a tower, well, it demands a high power output. It's like putting all your leg muscle into kicking a long ball all the way down the field. VDD BOOST actually provides the energy for both of these precise kicks. But it's not just about signal power, right? It's also about signal chaos. Think of the diversity IC as the ultimate traffic cop of the logic board. The air is literally full of multi-directional, overlapping frequencies from your service provider. When you're stuck in a dead zone, the diversity IC relies on VDD BOOST to sort out all those chaotic signals and seamlessly piece together a smooth connection. And this brilliantly illustrates the answer to a really common question in microsoldering. Why do schematics often show multiple red pins for a single power connection? Well, it's exactly like a household power strip. If you plug a microwave, a toaster, and a fridge into one tiny outlet, you are absolutely going to blow a fuse. By distributing that heavy electrical current across multiple pins, the board prevents burned wires and overloading when the power demands spike.
So, we've successfully connected to the tower, but how exactly does VDD BOOST power the phone's actual features? Let's pivot our attention away from the network and over to the application side of the board to find out.
Which brings us to Section 4, core phone applications.
This is the sector of the phone where the magic actually happens for the user. The tangible features you interact with literally every single day. First up is the U7800 audio codec. And fun fact, the word codec actually comes from code and decode. It's the built-in translator. It takes massive digital data files and converts them into analog sound waves that your ear can actually hear. And it does the exact reverse when you speak into the microphone. But here's the kicker. Without VDD BOOST, this chip is totally dead. You get absolutely zero sound. No video playback audio, no voice calls, no microphone recording, nothing.
And the list definitely goes on. We've also got the camera power ICs, the Face ID sensors, and the touchscreen functionality. VDD Boost is literally the master key for all of these. If this single line goes down, your wide-angle lens fails, Face ID straight up refuses to scan, and even the simple act of swiping to unlock your touchscreen becomes completely impossible.
Finally, let's look at Section 5, the LDO ripple effect.
So, the crucial point here is what happens when VDD Boost hits the Power Management Unit, or the PMU. The PMU essentially acts as a massive distributor. It takes the VDD Boost voltage and breaks it down into smaller, highly specific low dropout voltages, or LDOs. If the central VDD Boost line fails to deliver, the casualties are frankly severe. If LDO 1 drops, your phone just won't charge. LDO 2 drops, complete audio loss. If LDO 5 loses power, your NAND, which is the actual hard drive of the phone, fails entirely. And LDO 13, your touchscreen goes completely unresponsive. It's a massive, catastrophic ripple effect.
To summarize the absolute gravity of everything we've looked at in this explainer, without PP_VDD_boost, the iPhone 13 is completely dead. It's a single fundamental source line that feeds both the network side and the user application side. If it fails to reach the power IC, absolutely nothing works. I want to leave you with a final thought to chew on. If a single invisible power line controls everything from your network signal strength to your Face ID, is repairing modern phones merely a science, or is it truly an art of navigation? Understanding schematics isn't just about reading diagrams, it's about tracing the lifeblood of the device. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive into the logic board, and keep exploring.